G'day, I'm Mick Angelhere and welcome to Mick Angelhere's Australia. After running around the bush the last few months, I've decided to come somewhere a little different. Right now, this is Woolwhich Dock in Woolwich, Sydney. So we're going to have a bit of an exploration of this place, and then we'll go to Cockatoo Island just over there. So we'll be doing some exploring today here in Sydney. Harbour Bridge up there. So let us go and explore. Okay, the goat paddock. I assume it's called the goat paddock because there used to be goats here. Not sure really. This leads down to Woolwich Dock, and known as Clark's Point. It was bought by the Clark family in 1835. So they actually bought this land here. They were actually family of cabinet makers. So it actually became an industrial suburb after a number of years. And around this area of Woolwich, there were workers' cottages, working class area, so to speak. But nowadays, it's a very posh area. This is a very expensive, exclusive part of Sydney. And to buy a property here, well, you would have to have a lot of money. Woolwich was also a fishing village, very back in those days, 1830s. And then it's built up an industrial area. They had an iron smelter here. They had a colonial oil, and we had the Woolwich docks down there. And so there was a lot of people working in this area. And but now has been transformed into a suburb of respectability and gentility, where you've got to have a lot of money to live in this place. See that yacht there? Really big and posh boat. That's not mine. Wish it was. Where we are right now is in Woolwich. As you can see, Sydney City CBD over there. That's the ferry wharf, Hunters Hill wharf. Well, that's where we're going to be catching the ferry to go to Cockatoo Island. That's Greenwich over there. Now, this is where the Lane Cove River and the Parramatta River meet. The Lane Cove River comes out from there, and the Parramatta River from there. Together they join up and flow into Sydney Harbour down that way. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. In 1898, the Clark family sold their bit of land to Woolwhich Dock and Engineering Company. Bought this site after the Clark family. They must have made a pretty penny, I'm sure the Clark family did. In 1898, work started on building this dock. Got a rainbow up there. Beautiful. This dock, when they were digging out the sandstone, this is Hawkesbury sandstone, so it's called, dug out 85,000 cubic meters of sandstone to build this dock. And they started work in 1898. can see people run along. We've got the old rail tracks. When they were digging it, they used to load the sandstone, the rubble and the soil into carts which the horses used to drag out, take out, and so they used to then take them away, horse and cart. That looks like the remains of an old barge, and you can see all the barnacles, the oysters that yes, oyster shells, Sydney rock oyster shells, that's what they are. And work started in 1898. By 1901, 4th of December 1901, the dock opened. When this dock opened in 1901, it was the longest dry dock in Australia at 617 feet long and 89 feet wide. Now, between the years of 1902 and 1908, they extended the dock a bit more. So, this is quite spectacular. At its height, in 1917, there were 1,500 people working in this dock. Around the 1950s, the dock went idle. So it stood idle to about 1964, when the army then took over the operations of the dock. Is now still used, but for civilian purposes. Still used as a maritime dock, as you can see by these very posh boats that are here. I mean nice boats too. That's a big crane there. That rolls along here and it drops the boats over here. Mate, that's one nice boat, that. Whew. That's bigger than the one I sailed on over 30 years ago. Actually, not that much bigger. The one I sailed on was 74 foot long. That's about a little bit bigger by about another 20 feet. That's cool. It's a bit showery at the moment, a bit of showers. This is the view from my cafe table. It started raining, so I went and got shelter and have a coffee. Well, it's been moved. They're obviously going to be putting the boat into the water. That's where they steer. Pretty cool to drive that, I reckon. They're actually going to be dropping the boat into the water, as you can see. He's got to turn it now without going into the water. Not much room, is there? Now that's where he's going to be putting that particular boat. He's hiding. Lining it up perfectly. Now they're lowering it into the water. And we have touchdown. She is free. And thus, the operation is complete. In 1963, the army took over Woolwhich Docks and the adjoining parkland and turned it into a military base. And that lasted until 1997. And then in 1997, the government of the day thought, oh, beauty, we've got all this prime land. I mean, prime land. We could sell it to developers. But the community railed against it. They joined together, formed action groups. They fought against this government proposal to turn this into apartment blocks. And due to their vigorous action, the government caved in. And so, thus, we have Woolwhich Dock now preserved as parkland, preserved, so people can come here and enjoy this beautiful place. Instead of being an apartment city, it's now for all members of the community to enjoy. Beautiful.